Hey everybody, this is Brian Budd with the Eclectic News Network. Today's Sunday, November 8th, 2020, and pardon me because I don't have my lighting set up properly. I just wanted to make this quick video. Said I'd be gone for a while, but I couldn't help myself but actually talking about this. I had to get the shades out. It's actually beautiful today in the Ohio area, in Cleveland, Akron, Canton area. It's in the 70s. I love this weather. You know what, if it was like this all year, I wouldn't want to move to Florida. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to move south. I can't stand the winters anymore. I don't know about you. I'd go to Vegas, but Las Vegas, they're too liberal. And there's a lot of nuclear facilities in Nevada. I don't know, probably Utah. Southern Utah, southeastern Utah is really nice because it's 500 miles in diameter from any major city, over 100,000. So that's a good place to go, like the Red Rock Mountain Range, something like that. Is probably where I'm thinking about moving, or Kalispell or northern Montana. I do not want to be in the cities in this area when shit hits the fan, which it will. And there was people on the media yesterday that I had to cover this, that this politician, this bartender, which she should be making people Long Island iced teas, not being a representative of this United States. And I normally don't like to be passive-aggressive towards people because I don't think it's really Christ-like, but this woman deserves it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or I call her occasional Cortex, because occasionally she uses her cortex, but mostly she doesn't use her prefrontal cortex when she speaks. Anyways, this bimbo basically goes out and says that we're basically pretty much going to put all Trump supporters on lists. I'm not supporting Trump. I don't support Biden. I'm a political atheist. But put people on lists, and I would talk to friends about this yesterday, and they said, oh, that'll never happen. It's not a big deal. Just relax. Go back to your life. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. I was saying, that's pretty sensational for somebody to say that. And actually, that's sedition. Because you're putting people on lists that's unconstitutional, number one, and violates the Fourth and Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. It also violates the right to privacy. You can't put people on lists just because you don't like them. That's what they did in Nazi Germany. But they call Donald Trump a Nazi. See, they always accuse you of what they're doing, but they'll accuse you of doing it. The Clintons were perfect at that. Bill Clinton did not have sexual relations with that woman. Whenever somebody's pointing their finger and their eyes are looking the other way, they're lying because they're actually trying to think of the excuse of how they're going to have to lie. That's in micro expressions, but Joe Biden winning the election, besides all that, who cares? But that is crazy, and people are like, what are you going to do? It's all good. Everything's okay. I mean, I don't care. My life's not going to change. Well, let me tell you a little bit what's going to happen. Okay. Number one, Biden today just said that I'm going to reverse Donald Trump's America First policies. That is genius, and I will give Trump that. When he said America First policy, I'm going to reverse all America First policy. And that's on the news headlines. I died laughing. I said, this is not America. Not to steal from the Falconer movie song track from David Bowie in 1984. This is not America. This is not America. Sha-na-na-na-na, a little piece of you, a little piece of me will die. For this is not America. So I can't do David Bowie. The guy's got a good voice pitch. Say what you want to say. He was an addict, whatever, doesn't matter. He had some really good songs. I love China Girl. People think it's about a Chinese woman. No, it's actually about cocaine. I think it's kind of comical. Some of his meanings are... That's the thing about music today. It's so atomized. Back then, you had to actually have talent. Anyways, I'm going on a jag here. But people are like, it's not going to matter. Well, what's going to happen is that we have about 5 million people that are going to be out of an apartment because that stuff's running out. that Biden will, he's basically, Michigan and Wisconsin and Washington are already doing another second round of lockdowns. And where I worked at last week, they already said for the state of Texas, they're going to be starting the lockdowns possibly, and they give people pieces of paper when they drive that they're essential. Second lockdown is coming, folks. And they're going to destroy this country. The only thing we have left is our voice and this. Guns. And I'm not calling for violence. I'm just saying that the Second Amendment was put in the Constitution for a specific purpose. It wasn't to hunt quail or hunt Dick Cheney's hunter buddy. It was meant to overthrow a tyrannical government. It was meant to be a checkmate to overthrow a tyrannical government if it ever came in power. And we're getting very close to that. Or states could secede. People say, well, that's terrible. Well, that could never happen. Well, it's happened. I mean, Civil War, the Whiskey Rebellion, Pennsylvania threatened to secede, South Carolina's threatened to secede many times because of the South back in the 1800s and slavery. And the thing is we seceded from the British Crown. So secession is very constitutional and should be looked at. I mean, the thing is secession should be looked at for every state. Ohio, I don't think they will. But if you're a state like Texas, they can afford to secede, actually. So can California, because they are the 7th largest economy in the world. But Ohio probably couldn't. Well, yeah, Texas could. They could survive in the secessionist movement. Although they'll just say, well, we won't be able to fly any planes over your area. You're not able to fly out. The government tries to be the big mama. Even though the states created the federal government, it wasn't the other way around. So what's going to happen is that the lockdown is going to continue. It's going to destroy. They're going to have mass mandates nationwide. Biden's team's already called for contact tracing teams, mandatory COVID vaccination. This is what's going on while people are going, stop the deal, stop the deal, stop the steal. I'm more concerned about what's going to be injected in my body than an obese man that claims that fries give his hair his glowy shine. I'm more concerned about the future of my children that I might have, or people's children out there, or future of our grandkids. I'm more concerned about that. I'm not concerned about Orange Man Bad. And yes, that is important. They're already moving on all fronts. But see, everybody's focusing on, we're going to do this. So the state of Ohio, 46 other states have already come up with mandatory COVID-19 testing and vaccinations starting as early as February 2021. So this is coming whether people realize it or not. And I have a duty to tell people this. Even if they think I'm crazy, that's fine. But when I'm proved to be right again and again, I have people that are doctors. I have people that are professors of universities in Texas and Kansas, and people that are just very bright people who just can't believe it could be happening. And that's because most people can't gather the fact that most people are good. But you have to realize there is a conspiracy. We don't wrestle with the flesh. We wrestle with municipalities, powers, and hidden in dark places. People that are psychotic, they think in terms of how can we ruin this because they can get more power. Unfortunately, most people think that there's good and evil. There is. The problem is that they can't think that things are that bad, like things would ever be that bad, and they don't think that China's a racist country, even though they murder they're the most racist, not the Chinese people, but the government. They're so racist. They enslave blacks and Arabs in their concentration camps. This is a government that's killed over 100 million of its own people. And people praising General Mao. Really? Would you like to see the Great Leap Forward here? Well, I have news for the people that want that there. It's not going to happen. Because, yes, we are fat, dumb, and lazy right now. Unfortunately, we're very stubborn in the sense that we haven't been dog-trained enough like you guys have been since 1949, when Chiang Kai-shek was the leader there in China. He was taken out of power by our CIA, and put into power, of course, was Mao Zedong, Chairman Mao. And ever since then, the United States, George Herbert Walker Bush Sr., James Baker III, they went to China in the early 70s with Nixon, and they said, well, listen, we're going to make you the economic power, but you can't have a military that's bigger than ours. But you have to basically get rid of one-child policy. You have to get rid of a lot of people to prove to us that you can do that in the name of global warming or cooling. And then we'll make you the new economic power in the 21st century. And these are all things that are actually documented in white papers. People just have to go ahead and look at it. So they did, and people realized that the Bushes are lame. Bushes are ahead of the Bushes are from the founding of the military-industrial complex. And Prescott Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush Sr.'s dad, who was the 41st president, his dad, Prescott, who was a senator from Connecticut, was actually a Nazi sympathizer up until he got caught in Union banking scandal in 1943 with Trading with the Enemy Act by Franklin Roosevelt. He is obviously part of the CIA Blue Bloods, Good Shepherd type movement where they basically compromise each other. So that's what happens there. So people don't realize that they are the head of that. And then you have Henry Kissinger, who's kind of like a foreign guy who's like, he looks over the liberal part of it. So you have that faction. And, they basically said that America's not going to have a future. America's never going to be great again. Basically China will take over and be in kind of like a marriage with the United States. And this is what's going to happen. The only way out of this, of course, in my opinion, is that you have to you have to accept it, which a lot of Republican representatives already have. I mean, Mitt Romney, what a pathetic waste of space. Yeah, he's no different as Daddy George, who was the governor of Michigan. He ruined Barry Goldwater's presidential run easily. So it's not going to really matter in that respect. You can try to run, which they will, or you're going to have to fight. So that's your only two options. All we have to do is get more Republicans in the White House, or in the House of Representatives, and everything's going to be okay. No, it's not going to be okay. These people are lining their pockets. They're the fucking middlemen. The one thing I will say Trump did was the prescription drugs was amazing. Because he went to China, he's like, well, wait a minute, all these congressmen and senators are getting all these kickbacks. That's tripling the price of these drugs. Well, I want a fair and balanced playing field. We're going to lower those drug prices. That pisses these people off. They play dirty. We're talking big money with these politicians. They fight their way and they fight dirty. And they're not gonna go away. The media is all against him. You can tell when that is the case. It's baseless. There's no factual proof. They are gaslighting everybody right now. Why do you gaslight somebody? Because you can do that. I mean, if you want to get ahead in the company, like say a corporate environment, you can gaslight. You can do very well if you know how to be sociopathic. There are a lot of people that I know in management that are like that. They're nice people outside of work, but inside of work, they are sociopathic. And that's probably why I've never been a vice president of anything, because I'm not sociopathic. I have to be transparent. But they'll gaslight to people because then they'll just give up. They'll basically be demoralized and, oh my gosh, it's all over. Trump's lost, or, Biden, he was right all along. This is a guy who was in the basement who couldn't even wear his own diaper, okay? And we're leading to expect that he's going to lead the free world. And then Kamala Harris, she's the first African-American woman vice president. She came from a lot. No, she was a daughter of slave owners in in the Caribbean. Okay? She's another dick taster. The same with Biden. They're all dictators. But people don't believe. People are like, oh my God, it's so glad the masks are going to come off. Last night, State of Ohio, Department of Health, COVID-19 vaccination protocol. Coming in the winter. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. This is why these people smirk and they just think they have us, because they think we're going to roll over. Well, here's the deal. I don't know about you, but I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Fuck these people. Have a good day.